Excellent. Hello and welcome to another exciting stream. In this session, we're going to be taking a Udemy course on practical time management. That said, let us start.
Hi, welcome to Practical Time Management course. We will learn how to get stuff done, organize chaos, and deal with distractions. And I hope it will help you have more time and energy for things that are important to you. Family, friends, hobby, development, leisure. I hope that you will be able to stay organized, even with changing priorities and distractions, and this will lower your stress and give you the feeling of control. My name is Piotr Nabielec, and I have been a productivity trainer and consultant for over 4 years. And before that, I spent over 10 years in IT as a software developer and manager. I found that many people have common problems with their time management, and there are simple techniques to help with it. I believe this is a missing piece in our education system. It's an essence of over 40 books, 10 years of practice, and feedback from over 2,000 students online and offline. If you want to know the core of getting things done, essentialism, the power of habit, your brain at work, and many more, and how they fit together, this course is for you. This course is the...
Actually, let me write down these books. Those to look into. Getting things done, essentialism. The power of habit. Your brain at work.
Divided into 5 practical modules, and we will learn Module 1, how your brain functions and what's the role of emotions, logic, and habits. This is a foundation module for the rest of the course. Module 2, best task list management practices that you may use right away. Module 3, best calendar practices and solutions. Module 4, how to be focused and effectively fight distractions, especially office distractions. And Module 5, put all of this together and present some simple and practical daily and weekly planning strategies.
All right, let me capture this down. Module 1 talks about how our brain functions and what is the role of emotions, logic, habits. Oh, choke. Be alright. Shut up. All right, I'm back.
and we will
where were we? Let's see. Actually, did I capture everything? No, I didn't. I still have to type everything out. Okay, module 2 is on best taskless management practices that you may use right away. Okay, module 3 is best calendar practices and solutions. Module 4, how to be focused and effectively fight distractions. Module 5, putting everything together and planning strategies. All right.
We'll talk about your energy management. Modules 2 to 5 will be full of example apps, plugins, paper solutions that I hope will fit your personal style and way of living. Almost all chapters in the course have a simple task to be completed and also some extra materials to download. I wanted to make this course full of theory and practice, but the practice is on your side now. You can complete this course as a whole or go step by step. I would recommend going module by module because we will build on top of what was already covered. Of course, after you finish the course, or if you're just curious, feel free to watch a single lesson as well. Now, as a task for the first lesson, please fill a short survey and say hi, and this way we can contact each other and maybe I can send you some more materials to study if you want. This way you will also get my email, so you can ask questions or give feedback. Good luck with the course! Get ready and see you in the next lesson.
Okay, moving on.
Productivity is much more.
Let me start a new page. This will be section 1, lesson number 2. And what's the title of this? Where is the title? Title is Why Practical Time Management and my story.
Than just getting stuff done. It's the art of filling your time with what is most important to you. Time is a limited resource and it's running out. So I love helping people live the life they want. Of course, achieving ambitious goals, but also cultivating deep relationships, enjoying good rest, and moments of carefree creativity. I was always curious why some people seem to be very busy but don't actually achieve anything meaningful. They're just stressed and always on. There are also people that seem calm and relaxed, and they achieved amazing things. I could see focus and joy in their actions, and wanted to live that life and pass it to others. Based on the XQ study made by Franklin Covey, 92% of people do not systematically plan the implementation of their priority goals.
Ooh, I like stats. So what does it say? 92% of people do not systematically plan the implementation of their priority goals. Okay.
92% of people don't spend their time according to what they say is important to them.
Okay.
So after you finish this course, I hope you will join the 8% that live the life they want. I always loved being busy and engaged in thousands of activities. But over the years, I found that being busy and being productive are completely two different things.
Being busy and being productive are not one and the same.
Things. Now I care about rest, relationships, creativity, and focus much more than in the past. Of course, I still love ambitious goals, but I also like to stop and enjoy a coffee, a good conversation, or forget about the world while playing with kids. Productivity helps you achieve more with less energy.
And the author's definition of productivity. Author defines productivity as this fashion. Productivity helps you achieve more with less energy.
Some people may take to an extreme. Everything is then oriented around goals, tasks, and the process to get them done. I never wanted that. I wanted a feeling while falling asleep that it was a good day, a good week, a good year, that I'm not only busy, but live a good life. Time flies and we cannot regain it. I spent over 10 years in large corporations, and then I decided to pass what I know about personal and team productivity to others. I felt this was my passion. People told me I had talent for that. They have seen value in it. And still, when I look in the mirror, even today, I can honestly say I was born to do this. I would like to invite you to my productivity course. Practical time management will help you understand your brain biology and how you can use some basic tools to make meaningful choices every day. It will be important that you actually save energy with these tools rather than have something more to control. So I'll cover practical solutions, show you techniques, applications, and plugins, and how you can use them every day. This course will build a foundation that you may build on. It's not only about specific techniques, but also explaining the biology behind it and how all of these parts connect together. With so many productivity hints and techniques in books and other courses, I'd like to make some order and build a big picture. I spent the last 4 years teaching others these techniques, and the enormous amount of feedback from over 2,000 students helped me find patterns that work for most people. This has been my passion for over 15 years now, and I'm still learning and connecting the dots in the area of productivity. When you finish this course, you will understand this big picture, have your calendar and task list cleaned up, and understand how to use them so they actually work, not only stress you. You will also understand how focus works and how to avoid the most common distractions. You will know many practical applications and plugins, but the most important thing is that you get the tools to fight the chaos of everyday life without losing spontaneity and carefree relax, and that you feel the control and can make meaningful choices about your time. There are over 20 short lessons that will cover your brain biology, best task list practices, best calendar practices, focus and distractions, and daily and weekly planning strategies that people found working well. The brutal fact is that if you don't know and don't live your own priorities, you will live someone else's priorities. I wish you all the best, and I hope this course will help you achieve more, but also enjoy your day-to-day trip through life. Productivity.
Okay.
Before we jump into the content,
Moves too fast. Let's see, I have to create another page. Section 1, lesson 3. And the title of this lesson is You Are Not a Robot. I agree with this sentiment.
we need to cover a topic that I found is very important to many people. Do you fear that when you organize better, you will become less spontaneous?
Question to reflect on. Do you fear that when you organize better, you will become less spontaneous?
Or you will be controlled by tools, applications, or processes? That you will lose this beautiful time to just do nothing without any guilt and shame? This is why many people are so afraid to start implementing any productivity hints. So this is important to mention that we actually have 4 types of time and how we can spend it. 1, we can have goals.
We have 4 types of time and how we can spend it. We have goals to achieve. Job.
Goals to achieve are projects at work and at home, meetings, tasks. We work on them and we want them completed.
And these goals could be considered projects at home, projects at work, meeting tasks, meetings, task.
2. We also have time to rest.
Also have time to rest.
This is when we charge our internal, emotional, and physical.
Okay. This is considered charging internal, emotional energy. Charging physical energy.
Batteries. This can be sleep, talk with someone,
Methods. Common methods. Sleep. Talking. Someone. Walking. Nature. Watching TV. Music. Preferable music. Because he says good music.
walking nature, watching TV series, good music, and so on.
Oh, shoot. Chris, I don't know how long ago you sent that, but yeah, I got the eye tracker thing, so that is what you see.
3, we take care of relationships. This is when we build trust and loyalty and friendships. Usually people...
Ah, crap. Went too fast. Go back. Oh, 2 minutes ago. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know. I mean, the most beneficial thing about it is that it tells me to take a break once in a while. So there's health benefits to it. And after buying it and like looking into it, I realized that this is not like a new product. It's it was released in 2017, so it's it didn't catch on until maybe a bit later. And then there's some games that use it too. How much did it cost? It around 150. And there might be some used ones too, so it could be cheaper from people that bought it much earlier on, like the super early adopters. You know what? Let's go to Amazon. Let's see. Let's take a break from all this time management and figure this out. Toby, eye tracker. Oh crap! It's $229. Did I buy it for that much? Yeah. Yeah. Just kidding. It's not 150. It's much more expensive. Let's see. No, I mean, that's probably why I said 150, because I might have seen an alert for the discount rate, and that was on December 28th. So at one point it was 149. Then if you can find it used, it looks like it's hovering around the $150 range. So yeah.
Usually people...
Crap, forgot to write it down. We take care of relationships.
Usually people plan their days trying to divide their 24 hours between goals to accomplish, building relationships, and rest. But there's also a 4th type of time, creative time.
Oh, creative time. That's probably what I'm doing right now with Twitch. Creative time.
This is when we start an activity without
So what's today's lesson? Networking? Yeah. At 9 a.m. I took this networking course that is going to span over, I think, a month before I'm going to try to register for the exam to get official certification. And then tonight I have another course on networking that I'm gonna do here on Twitch.
clear goal in mind. It's let's just start and see what happens. This is how many kids play. They start an activity and are free to follow it without pushing it too hard in any direction. There's an openness to catch the creative energy of the whole.
Is all for the job you might be getting? Yeah, the one I did at 9 a.m. is for the job that I told you and Mark about on chat. It's going to be working for the Google Cloud team. But it's not going to be easy. So the certification that I would be studying for right now is just an associate level. And then after the associate level, there is the professional level, which is harder and takes more time to pursue. And then there is the architect level, which is the highest level. And they want me to get that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have enough time to get the architect level. But I'm just gonna see how I feel about the associate level, and if I like what I'm learning, then I might try for the professional. Then obviously the architect level.
Process. So you can play the guitar as a goal to achieve. For example, when you want to learn how to play a new song. Once you can play it, it's done. But you may also take the guitar and just play and see what happens. Maybe you will play a song, maybe experiment, maybe work on your own song. This course will help you achieve your goals. But please keep in mind that there are also 3 other types of time that need to be taken care of. And productivity that is misunderstood can actually kill your creativity.
What?
Don't try to put goals around your rest.
What did you say?
Don't try to put goals around your rest. Actually kill your creativity.
I gotta write that down. Productivity that is misunderstood can actually kill your creativity. I don't want that.
Don't try to put goals around your rest.
Don't try to put goals around your rest, relationships, creativity.
Relationships or creativity, because you will only frustrate yourself. I hope that with this course you will be able to accomplish more and you will be much calmer, but that will also help you enjoy your coffee, the view from the window, the interesting talk you have, or even music or food. This is how I understand slow productivity. There's time for goals, deep relationships, good rest, and carefree creativity. So please now rate these 4 types of time in your life. Are you satisfied with how you achieve your goals? What would be your grade for that type of time in your life? How about rest and relationships and creative time? Think about.
Okay, let's see. Oops. Self-rating. I have goals to achieve. It's been like a 0.5 out of 5 for the past while. Hence why I am taking all these self-help courses. Time to rest. Well, 4 out of 5, pretty good. Could be better. We take care of our relationships. Well, that kind of destroyed me, so I don't really know what to say about that. Creative time. Yeah, 0. that was one of my bigger problems. It's not having a way to channel my creativity, and hence why I am working on it right now. I gotta look away for 20 seconds.
About one small improvement that you could make this week to change it just a little bit. This course is all about small steps, and in the next module, when you will learn about your brain, you will know why. See you there.
Nice. Okay. Ooh,
Before we jump into the content, we need to cover a topic that I found is very important to many people.
Okay, section 2. S2, what is it titled? How our brain functions. Okay, then we have a page here. Section 2, lesson 4. Levels of information processing.
A lot has changed over the last 10 to 20 years. Remember dial-up connections or old Nokia phones? It's hard to believe that the first iPhone was released in 2007. We have Facebook since 2006 and Instagram since October 2010. It's all very new. Many people claim they are overworked, they don't have time for their families, rest or growth. However, they spend hundreds of hours yearly on social media, news or games. How is that? To organize the chaos, some people start using calendars and task lists, but they usually quickly grow to the point that they become shame lists or guilt lists. Distractions that are present everywhere make things even worse. So what is actually the problem? The problem is with our brains. What was helping us survive 1,000 or even 100 years ago in a modern world make us completely unproductive and even unhappy. We can, however, understand our limitations and cooperate with them rather than fight with them. So let's look at 3 very important regions of our brains: the limbic system,
Actually,
prefrontal cortex, and basal ganglia.
there we go. I'd rather not type all this and take a screenshot. The 3 very important regions of our brains. One is the limbic system. 2 is the prefrontal cortex. 3 is the basal ganglia. Is that how they pronounce
Ganglia.
it?
The limbic system tracks your emotional relationships to people.
Ooh, nice. This limbic system tracks your emotional relationship to people, objects, events, and thoughts.
Objects, events, and thoughts. It determines how you feel about the world.
Determines how you feel about the world. Moment to moment.
Moment to moment. It's a world of subtle choices. Our limbic brain is determined.
Is a world of subtle choices. Okay. It influences our subtle choices.
Determined to minimize danger and maximize reward.
Okay, lastly, determined to minimize danger and maximize reward.
And the main problem is that we have very limited capacity to control our limbic brains or
problem. We're limited in our capacity to control our limbic brain. Or even become aware of its functioning.
even being aware of its functioning. Another part of our brains, our prefrontal cortex, is responsible for all our rational thinking.
Part of our brains. Okay. And so this is responsible for all our rational thinking.
It's involved when we need to make a decision or solve a problem. It has 5 main functions, and these 5 functions, memorizing, recall.
Oh, crap. It has 5 main functions. Okay, one is memorizing.
Understanding, deciding, and
Damn it, I need to slow this dude down.
inhibiting make up the majority of conscious thought. These functions are recombined to plan, problem solve, communicate, and other tasks. They use the prefrontal cortex intensively, and what is the most important, they use the prefrontal of conscious thought. These functions are recombined to plan, problem solve, communicate, and other tasks.
These functions are recombined to maybe I can add that here. These functions are used to plan, problem, solve, communicate, and
They use the prefrontal cortex intensively, and what is the most important, they require significant resources to operate.
they require significant resources to operate.
To save precious energy from repetitive decisions, our brain has a special region called basal ganglia.
Okay. To counter this, we refer to the basal ganglia number 3.
Your basal ganglia recognize, store, and repeat patterns in your environment. The basic operating principle is somewhat like it pattern.
Okay. So what is this? Its purpose is to recognize store, repeat. Recognize patterns, store patterns, repeat patterns. Ooh, time for a break. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me recognize patterns in your environment. Ditto and ditto. All right, 4-minute break. It's a timer for 4 minutes. Can I do this? And nice. Thank you, Google. Sure, chop. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. Good chop, chop. Sure. All right.
In your environment. The basic operating principle is somewhat like if-then function in software coding. An example might be, if you pick up a hot drink, don't gulp it straight down. Test it with a tiny sip first. The basal ganglia has a big appetite for patterns. One study showed that only 3 repetitions of a routine.
Ooh, okay. Chub, chub. Right down. Chub, chub. Let's see. Only 3 repetitions of a routine are enough to begin the process of what is termed long-term potentiation. Is that the terminology?
Are enough to begin the process of what is termed long-term potentiation. The basal ganglia also pick up patterns without conscious awareness.
Crap. How do I get it to that? Okay, there we go. Also picks up patterns without conscious awareness.
And this was beautifully described in 2 books, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg and Your Brain at Work.
Books that this is referenced in. The Power of Habit, Your Brain at Work.
By David Rock. When we think about these regions of our brains in a very simplistic way, we could divide our activities into 3 categories. Completely automatic or...
When we think about these regions of our brains in a very simplistic way, we could divide our actions or our activities. We could divide our regions, brain regions, into these categories. Completely automatic, emotional, habitual, and conscious. Oh. Or emotional. They weren't separate. Okay.
Emotional, habitual, and conscious.
Oh, hey, let me steal this diagram. Paste it somewhere over here. Put that there, or actually here.
The problem is that conscious thinking requires a lot of brain resources, and there are mechanisms.
Conscious. So if conscious was the one that was taking up all the brain resources, then it's probably the one that's tied with the prefrontal cortex. Actually, if I'm gonna have notes, then I'm gonna put that picture down there. Requires a lot of brain resources.
save it. Also, when our limbic brain is aroused, there may not be enough capacity for us to think logically.
Should write that down somewhere. Our limbic system is aroused, there actually may not be enough capacity for us to think logically, which I think would be prefrontal cortex.
If anyone told you to calm down when you were angry, you immediately know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately,
So when you're angry, that's probably your limbic system, because that's strictly emotional. And that's probably meaning that your limbic system is aroused, and you don't have the capacity to calm down and use your prefrontal cortex to see some rationale in the situation. Okay, that makes sense.
the order is this: emotions, then habits, then logic.
So order of what? Like, is it because emotions are the strongest, and then next to emotions are habits, and I guess humans are less likely to use logic when making decisions, is what this graph is, or this diagram is showing me. Are you using both pull-up and web run? Oh no, I'm using just the pull-ups because I had the same problem as you, where like if you move slightly a little bit, it kind of messes the whole thing, because now you kind of see what's going on here. So it's pull-ups. Yeah. I mean, and you said you got the bigger one, right? I mean, I think I saw like two different versions. One was the regular size, and then there's the extra large. And if the one that you have and that I have right now is the extra large, then it's kind of useless, because, you know. Yeah, I use two of the pull-ups, and here, let me actually turn off the filter, and you'll see. There we go. So that's how I have it set up. It's like a corner. Let's see. Yeah. Zoom. There we go. All right. Yeah. But I think your obstacle is figuring out if it could fit, right? Or if you can get maybe the pull down and somehow attach it to the ceiling. What did you do with the long green screen you had before? The long green screen I had before was actually just a piece of green cloth that was super cheap on Amazon. and I put that over, or I dripped it over the whiteboard that I had at the apartment. That whiteboard is like, I think, where is it now? I think it's over at Veronica's place. Yeah, I need to take some furniture out in your room. Yeah.
So when you wake up late and feel panicked, sometimes you forget to brush your teeth, even if you do it automatically every day. There are some...
Oh, okay. Here's a good example. If you wake up late and feel panicked, you might forget to brush your teeth. Habit. And this over here is emotion. So emotion has precedence over habit. Oh yeah. Yeah, you need to, or show me next time, like the room that's not used.
Actions that became your habits, and your logic doesn't even notice them anymore. What's important to emphasize here...
There's some actions that become your habits, and your logic doesn't even notice them anymore. Oh, okay, so like if you do something in this logic triangle so often that it becomes a habit, so that it no longer stresses your... Which one's logic again? I think it's prefrontal cortex. So once it's out of here, then it'll go here. No, it won't go there. That's your emotion. So if it's out of your prefrontal cortex, then it'll go to your basal ganglia. So this goes here. Yeah, of course. I thought I showed you it when you were there. No worries. I mean, you have any more of that privy?
Is that logic requires a lot of resources. And this is why we need good habits to save our energy and simplify our world. We need to remember that our emotional state and habits stop us from thinking logically.
We need to remember that our emotional state and habits stop us from thinking logically. Emotion plus habit take precedence over logic. Emotions and habit will prevent us from using the logical side of our brain. I know you were saying you had a course to take tonight, but if you're trying to session tonight, let me know. Ooh, maybe. Wait, are you streaming tonight? Let's see. Let's go to Chris's stream. Oh, who's this? Oh, wait. There we go. Oh, what? This guy's playing Chrono Trigger.
Sorry about that, guys. Someone was at my door.
You are off today.
My favorite video is the one with the man. Wait, what were we talking about? Sorry, man.
Alright, this guy deserves a follow, since he's playing a game I love. Let's see.
William Fan, 120 HZ. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the stream, brother. I hope you enjoy Chrono Trigger.
Love Chrono.
I have everything.
Trigger.
I'm assuming you're a Chrono Trigger fan.
Yep. Well, I subbed.
Dude, I love Chrono Trigger. But keep in mind, I'm doing a 24-hour stream, so I'm only playing up until the Magus fight. But that's a long fucking time, dude. You know how long it takes?
You mean going through the entire
Thanks
dungeon?
For the follow, man. Oh, fuck. Chris?
Oh, wait.
I
You
love
can't
you,
hear me.
brother.
What am I saying?
23 months, yo. You are one of the few people who have my 1-year badge. Holy shit. I know you love Chrono Trigger, right? You're a Chrono Trigger fan? You better. You play fucking, what's that game called? Monster Hunter.
Well, that's not.
Yo, man, thank you. And
That's not the
William,
same.
thank you again for the follow. I appreciate that, dude. Good little children need to watch Chrono Trigger. Yeah.
Oh shit! I think my emotions are
Chrono
overriding my
Trigger
logic,
has a
and
special
I
place in my heart.
actually need to get back.
But I hate to say this, guys, though. My favorite RPG, though, is Final Fantasy VII. I'm sorry. It's just too damn good. That's why I'm, like, super hyped for the remake.
Oh.
If she don't know Chrono Trigger,
Are
she's
you-
too young for you, bro.
Is that a favorite?
Oh, God, ain't that the truth. Oh, my God. That's so true. I'll save my game real quick. Dude, if she don't know Chrono Trigger... Yeah. You know what's sad, though? Angel, my girl right now, she's really young. She doesn't know Chrono Trigger, so she's
Don't
not that young,
ask.
right? She just doesn't play video games like that. She grew up playing fucking Call of Duty.
Oh.
I'm not gonna dump
Don't
her.
that be.
I'm not gonna dump her.
That's
I
good.
will dump her if she fucking hates the fact that I play. Oh shit!
Dump that
100
beat.
bits. Dump that beat. Nah, man, come on. I can't dump her. I'll only dump her if she doesn't like Final Fantasy VII, and she loves Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, she's good. She's a good girl. She's a good sport too. She knows how to take a joke. Most girls can't. They're like super sensitive. One of the best.
Crap, my.
Does Kamehameha. Yeah.
uh,
But yo, Chris, thanks again, man. 23 months. You're one of my longest subs, bro. I really appreciate the support.
keep on getting these mixed up. Okay,
Seriously.
which one's emotions?
Dude, I'm only 5 hours in my fucking
Yeah, so my
24-hour
limbic
stream.
system is totally
I had to drink 2 cups of coffee just for this stream already.
messing me up here.
You know how hard
I
this is
really
right
need
now?
to get back to learning.
I hope I survive.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna.
Right on, Chris. I appreciate it. You streaming today? It's not, dude. You've done it
Let's see.
before.
This is going out.
I
there,
remember
too.
I tuned in one time when you did. You were playing Fortnite and you were like,
Let's go to 480p and reduce the
It's
bit
tough,
rate.
dude.
Save my bandwidth a little bit.
really hard.
Wait, I gotta get back to this.
about them. So in the next lesson, let us see how we can form healthy habits whenever we want. This will be our protection
Chris.
layer. This course will present some solutions that will be logical to
My
you. But
emotions
the key
took
question
over.
is, how do you form habits so they work for you and you don't have to think about them? Try to make a procedure that will help you create new habits step by step. How is it different from New Year's resolutions and why they don't work so well? See you in the next lesson.
Nice. Let's see. What did I? Next lesson. Let's see how we can form healthy habits whenever we want. We need to remember that our emotional state and habits stop us from thinking logic. Okay, so cool. I think I'm good here. Current lecture has no Q&A questions. Okay. Next.
Many people make New Year's resolutions.
Actually, let me actually
Many peop-
let my emotions override my logic again.
Let him join the party. Yeah. I'll be right back, guys. Someone's at my door.
Okay, nice. I can take a break. All right.
People make New Year's resolutions. Most of them fail. You probably also have some in your history.
Crap. I need to create a new page. Section 2, Lesson 5. How habits are formed and how to help it. Ooh, resources. Checklists. Sweet. Let me grab this resource. Just like snip this in case I don't want to visit the link. Paste that over here. Cool.
History. I and most people I know have. It seems there is something about our brains that is counterintuitive.
Yeah, BRB, going to fold my laundry. All right, Chris.
We all do something wrong. It turns out that there is a pretty simple mechanism when it comes to habits. When our brain sees a cue or a trigger that's followed by an action that leads to a reward, it will try to automate it. It's called a habit loop.
Ooh, habit loop. Habit loop. When our brain sees a cue or a trigger that's followed by an action that leads to a reward. This results in our brain automating or this happens in our brain systematically. Automating this. Action trigger pair.
After some time, whenever your brain notices a cue, it will trigger an automatic reaction to get a reward. So the key to forming habit is not trying harder, it's keeping constant triggers.
So don't try harder. And instead, keep a constant trigger and reward. And repeating the action enough times so that our brain converts, figures out methods. Our brain automates it.
Trigger and reward, and repeating the action enough times that our brain would automate it. When you want to form a habit, keep it small, consistent, and repeat.
Tips to form a habit. 1. Keep it small. Keep it consistent. 3. Repeat it.
Imagine you want to do 50 squats every day. If this is your starting point, it will be very hard to actually make it a habit. You would be much more successful when you start with 5 squats while you're making your morning coffee.
If your goal is to do 50 squats a day, might be better to start with this 5. To keep it small.
Or brush your teeth, or just before breakfast. That's our trigger. When you're done, you make big red X in your calendar and you congratulate yourself.
And set up a system where set up a check off plus like on your calendar as a way to reward yourself.
Congratulations!
You also imagine that you're healthier and you feel nice about your muscles. That's our brain's reward. Next week, you add 1 more squat.
Then next week, add 1 more to whatever you had before. Incrementing system.
And you continue that over the next weeks. Seems easy. After some time, whenever you make morning coffee, brush your teeth, or just before breakfast, you start to do squats even without thinking. And if you continue that simple procedure, after a year, you'll be doing over 50 squats a day. And this Kaizen-like approach is much more effective because people that started with 50 squats usually live after 3 to 4 weeks or even less. So, whenever you want any habit to form, you need a trigger and a reward.
Prerequisites to forming a habit. You need a trigger and a reward.
And then start small, keep it consistent, and repeat. And let it grow over time. If you want to read many success and fail stories about habits, please look at The Power of Habit book by Oops.
Let it grow over time. And have it over time.
Many success and fail stories about habits, please look at The Power of Habit book by Charles Duhigg. The last thing to mention about habits is guilt and shame.
Okay, guilt and shame.
These are 2 most common killers of good habits. Remember, guilt and shame are on the emotional level, below the habit.
Guilt plus guilt and shame. Emotional level. Damn, I don't know how to spell it. What's it called? Limbic. Limbic.
Habit. That means whenever you blame yourself for missing 1 or 2 repetitions, you actually kill.
Ooh, that's actually an interesting point. Whenever you blame yourself for missing 1 or 2 repetitions, you actually kill your habit. So what is the preventative measure here?
Your habit. Your emotional reaction destroys it with much more power than actually missing a routine. If you can turn guilt and shame into curiosity.
Turn guilt and shame into curiosity. to as a preventative measure. How do we do this?
That would greatly help you form new good habits. Do yourself a favor, and whenever something goes wrong, be curious, ask good questions, reflect.
Do this by be curious, ask good questions, reflect, and move on.
And move on rather than blame yourself. In the lesson materials, you may find a procedure to form new habits. Feel free to use it for any of the habits that will be presented during this course. Because we cannot train our emotional brain that much, we need to create healthy habits that would protect us from emotions taking too much control. Or at least have a choice if we want to let them. In the next 2 lessons, let us cover very emotional triggers that usually derail us from our plans, and the most important habits that will protect us from it.
Nice. Nice. What did I say I would do today? No, I don't want to get stuck here. Crap. Let's see.
How hurt am I? How hurt am I? Oh, fuck. I am pretty hurt. Oh, the guy left the food for me. Some sympathizers brought that stuff for you, you lousy felon. Some sympathizers brought that stuff for you, you lousy felon. Oh, I gotta send that to my boy. That sounds hella funny. Two days until execution. What is this stuff? 6 ethers? Oh! Save my game. I hate this PlayStation 1 version, man. Trial. Guess we wait till the execution date. You just wait, I guess. You just wait. Oh, I was just gonna message you, Davey.
What's up, my brother?
All right. Okay. Let's see. Actually, I'm supposed to start my next lesson pretty soon. And wait. Supposed to complete lessons or sections 1 and 2. I don't think I can do that. Let's see.
Very logical.
Okay, let's do lesson 6. What is the name of this lesson? The role of urgency.
Urgency, feeling there's not enough time, that the deadline is tight, is a very strong emotional trigger. This is biology, emotional level. It's well below logic, and if you don't have habits that protect you from it, it will be pretty easy for me to steer your behavior without you even knowing that. To illustrate this, I will present you 2 versions of the same message and see which version seems more interesting to you. Version 1. I invite you to my online course that teaches productivity habits. Version 2. I invite you to my online course that teaches productivity habits. I have 2 spots left.
Ooh, okay. That's how he does it.
Which version seems more interesting and why? Logically, this is the same course that will teach you the same thing. Its value is exactly the same in version 1 and 2. However, in the second version, I added some urgency, saying that you need to hurry up. So I added an emotional spice to a very logical sentence. Suddenly, your brain woke up. How about driving when you feel there's not enough time and you are in a hurry? What do you think about other drivers? And do you think the same when you are not in a hurry? This is biology. Don't fight with it too much with your logic. This fight is not equal. Please
Don't fight too much with your logic.
remember that every time your brain sees any urgency, time limit, tight deadlines,
remember that when your brain sees urgency, time limits, deadlines, or tight deadlines, it will
artificially think it's much more important than it actually is.
Think it's much more important than it actually is. Hi.
One of your best weapons to fight with it is to understand that mechanism and make some corrections. In the next modules, we will cover practical solutions to that problem. If you now see all these 2 last spots on the webinar, or the sale available only today, or one-time offer.
Yeah. That here.
Please note that someone is trying to steer your behavior by stimulating your emotions and trying to bypass logic. As homework for this chapter, you may observe such situations during the day and your reactions. See how your emotional layer takes over, and when logic takes initiative, it's way too late. In the next lesson, we will cover another way to stimulate your emotional brain and deter your plans. Do you remember any action in your life that you did in a rush?
Okay. Section 2, lesson 7. The curse of open loops. How hormones take control.
Very quickly, but after you finished, you realized it made no sense at all? Let's talk about it now, because this is one of the most important emotional reaction that's usually not very logical. Urgency, feeling there's not enough time, that the deadline is tight, is a very strong emotional trigger. This is biology, emotional level. It's
only showing us one viewer.
well below logic, and if you don't have habits that protect you from it, it will be pretty easy for me to steer your behavior without you even knowing that. To illustrate this, I will present you 2 versions of the same message and see which version seems more interesting to you. Version 1. I invite you to my online course that teaches productivity habits. Version 2. I invite you to my online course that teaches productivity habits. I have 2 spots left.
Wait.
Have you ever read the news or a blog post or clicked links on social media and then you followed it and it seemed like you lost control? There is another mechanism that plays here that we need to cover. If you open any news portal right now, you will see a lot of so-called clickbaits. She lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks. See how she did that. UK workers suggest that these jobs offer the best work-life balance. Serial entrepreneur reveals the investment secret that made him millions. Our brains hate open information loops. They immediately want to close the loop.
These are open information loops.
Loop and know the answer. She lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks. See how she did that? Opens an information loop and will be now very hard for you to resist the temptation to click such link. You know, maybe there is a great method you didn't know. Open information loops also live on a ground floor emotional level.
Oh, he updated the diagram.
Way below logic. And it's very easy to steer your behavior this way if you are not aware. This is why it's so hard to resist the temptation to see what's behind every new notification when you just see the number. It's hard not to look at who sent you an email if you saw it coming. It's hard not to look at the chat when you see it flashing, meaning there's a new message. It's hard not to click links on social media. When I combine open information loops with urgency, it will be really easy for me to drive other
urgency plus open loops will drive people's... Where is he at?
people behavior.
People's behaviors if they are not trained and don't have habits protecting them from overreacting.
If they are not trained and don't have habits protecting them from overreacting. As homework for this lesson, you may try to open any news portal or your preferred social media platform. See notification number without clicking it. See few headlines, and then close it without clicking anything. Notice what your brain is doing to you at the moment of closing. Please remember that urgency combined with curiosity and open loops are operating on a very ground level of our information processing. This course is all about getting back the control over those automatic unwanted reactions. Now, let's look at these two lines that have different arrows at the end. Which line is longer and which is shorter? You're now probably thinking that actually they are equal size. And you're right. What happened here is that your emotional and conscious brain will always tell you that the upper line is longer. You cannot train it to give you a different answer. However, you've probably seen this in the past and your logic made a correction to what your automatic brain tells you. You actually see longer line, but your logic can alter what you see. Professor Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner, describes many more mechanisms like that in his famous Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow book. And he calls this emotional and conscious brain as System 1. This is exactly the mechanism that we will be using in this course. We cannot train our automatic emotional brains or System 1, but because you've seen it and you understand it, now you can use your logic to alter your default behavior. What I would like to make with this course is that sometimes your brain will wake up with, hey, I've seen it.
We cannot train our automatic emotional brains or a System 1, but because you've seen it and you understand it, now you can use your logic to alter the default behavior. Train our automatic emotional System 1, but because you've seen it and you understand it, use logic to alter your default behavior.
Already, and we'll be able to apply some improvements.
What I would like to make with this course is that sometimes your brain will wake up with, hey, I've seen it already, and you'll be able to apply some improvements.
So whenever you see an open information loop in clickbaits or some unnatural push with urgency, you will know what's going on and will form habits that will protect you from overreacting. In the next lesson, we will cover a very well-known time management concept called the Eisenhower Matrix, but this time we will look at it from our brain perspective.
Let's see.
How would you define urgent?
Okay. Section 2, lesson 8. A new look on the Eisenhower Matrix.
And how would you define important? Is there any difference between urgent and important things? And if yes, what is actually the difference? Can you think about anything that is urgent but not important? This exercise led General Eisenhower to a concept called the Eisenhower Matrix. Urgency is related to time pressure, how much time is
Urgency is related with time pressure.
left. The importance, however, is strictly related
Importance is related with value.
to the value, how much you can gain and what you can lose. If we look at it that way, we have two completely independent axes, value and time pressure, called importance and urgency. We could now divide all our actions into 4 categories. Important and urgent, big value under time pressure, health issues, critical issue with your customer, a water leak at your home, no time left and the consequences are high. Important but not urgent, big value but without time pressure, taking care of your health, relationships, your development, reading, etc. Not important but urgent, small value under time pressure, promotions, some calls from consultants, some events starting in a while. And not important and not urgent, small value and low time pressure. This may be organizing a meeting with people you don't like, reading some news, or social media. When I ask people in which quadrant they would like to spend most of their lives, they usually answer that in quadrant 2, in important but not urgent. Then our lives is filled with what we really value, but with very little time pressure. The problem is that this is a logical decision, but before we reach
Problem is that this is a logical decision, but before we reach logic, emotions are taking control.
logic, emotions are taking control. Just look at the matrix from our brain perspective. Our brain will focus on urgent and important because logic tells about value, and urgency creates an emotional push. It will take care of not important but urgent, even if this is not logical.
Okay, let's see. Paste out here.
Because urgency is very emotional and emotions live on the foundation level. Not important and not urgent may also be very emotional. It's enough to open an information loop and it creates an emotional energy to close the loop. Without habits protecting you, it's really hard to reach the second quadrant because it's the only one that's logical, not emotional.
Okay. Where's my... How do I zoom? Okay. Oops. This is emo, this is emo, and this is emo. And over here is where logic is.
This is also why concepts like Start With Why from Simon Sinek are getting so popular. They bring this emotional component to non-urgent actions.
Emotional component to...
At least, the fight is now equal. So I hope that now you understand that some people use this concept to steer your behavior. While you declare your values and try to live up to them, it's fairly easy to use this emotional layer to change that. And if you don't have a protection layer made of healthy habits, you may easily get lost in random actions. I hope that the next modules of this course will help you build these habits and fill your time with what really matters to you. Let us first cover the most basic tool that is very often misused, the task list. I hope when you finish the next module, it will be nice and easy to have one.
All right, I think that is it for this section. So let's take the quiz. Question 1 asks, what's the main problem with our logical thinking? Option 1, we have a fixed IQ and it cannot be changed, okay? Option 2 is we have a finite amount of energy to divide among memorizing, recalling, understanding, deciding, and inhibiting. And option 3 is we cannot understand how it works. Well, you know, option 3 is silly. Option 1, I actually wonder if this is like really true or not. But the answer is really 2. Question number 2 asks, what's the most effective way to form new habits? Option 1 is to be focused and try hard every day. That will not work because there's no like method here that addresses when your limbic or emotional system will take over. So this is not good. Option 2 is use an application to support it. Sure, I mean, if you have tools to use to help you form new habits, that would help. Or option 3 is what the author talked about. So it's start small and to keep consistent and to repeat this behavior. Question number 3, what is the biggest killer of forming new habits? It's going to be option 1, guilt and shame. Question 4, what is the biggest problem with urgency? Option 1 says urgency means we have to act. Option 2, urgency directly hits our emotions and we may take action immediately before putting things in a wider perspective. And option 3 is urgency is something we cannot resist, and we are only delaying the decision to something if we don't act immediately. Yeah, urgency is something that we can't resist until you become aware of it. Then when you're able to catch it, then you could then and we may take action immediately before putting things into a wider perspective. Damn. Which one is it? I think number 2 or option 2 makes the most sense. I hope I'm right. And I'm right. Awesome. Yeah, got 4 out of 4 in one attempt. Okay. All right. I think I am done here. Wait, what? 4, 5, 6, 7. This one should be 8. And I'm freaking 30 minutes over time. So what am I supposed to? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing another Udemy right now. I might actually hold this back until tomorrow since I'm kind of drained. All right. All right, let's see where Chris's friend is at.
I hate the load times in this game. It's so atrocious. Here we go. Boss fight time, baby. Boss fight time, baby. Let's go. Boys, knock the fuck out.
Actually, I should stop the stream. In that case, thanks for watching. I'll be back in a couple hours.